The town of Maduranthakam near Chennai is famous for its huge lake and the ancient and legendary Rama temple on its banks, and perhaps more famous in recent times for the sighting of Rama himself as recorded by a British collector of the region, Colonel Place. The temple itself is considered very auspicious as it is believed that Rama came here with Sita and Lakshmana on his way back to Ayodhya from Lanka. The local villagers place strong faith in the deities and revere the lake which had once washed Rama's feet. There was an English collector, Colonel Lionel Place, who was stationed in the Chengalpattu district between 1795 and 98. He feared that the heavy monsoons would breach the lake bunds and flood and destroy the region, but was countered by the villagers who believed that Rama was always with them and would protect them from all calamities. The collector was amused by their belief and mocked the villagers for it. But he was also curious and one day went around the temple. He found huge stone slabs and other material lying there. The temple priest told him, Collector Durai, these stones are for the Sannidhi of Sita, the Tayar in this temple. As funds are short, we are unable to build it. To the villagers' shock, the collector wanted to use the stones to strengthen the lake bund walls against any breach. At their vehement refusal, a sarcastic Colonel Place challenged them. If Rama will protect the village from the monsoons this time, I myself will build the Sannidhi for Sita at my own cost, and confidently declared that the predicted heavy rains that night will show the villagers that they had been foolish and superstitious in their belief in a non existent deity, and that the stones will find better use the next day. Refusing even to have a look at the Rama Vigraha already installed, the arrogant collector walked away, leaving the villagers to pray more fervently to Rama to protect them. That evening, a terrible storm lashed the region. The villagers were huddled inside their modest homes, praying to Rama to keep them safe. The lake waters, already near the brim, started rising dangerously. A worried Colonel Place went to the lake in the night to inspect and devise a plan. As he approached the near overflowing lake, he saw two sturdy men standing on the lake bunds as if monitoring. Thinking that the men were local villagers on duty, he was a bit relieved and went back to his quarters. But the situation was too tense for him to relax, and the agitated colonel went back to the lake around midnight, this time with a few of his officers. He could still see the two men standing guard on the lake walls, with sticks in their hands. He wondered if the villagers were fooling him about their belief in Rama when they had actually sent two of their own men to monitor the situation. Angry with them but a bit relieved too, the colonel commented, Officers, the villagers have fooled us by saying Rama will protect them. They have instead sent these two men to stand guard. Let us then go back. The officers were confused. Sir, what are you saying? There is nobody here except us. What? Can you not see the two men standing right there on the lake wall? I can see them so clearly as if there is a light around them. They are right there holding sticks. But the officers could not spot anybody there despite their best efforts. The collector was now confused too. But soon they went back praying that the rains don't get heavier, while the collector kept thinking of the strange sight of the two men who only he had seen. The next morning, the village woke up to calm and cleared skies, and to everybody's relief, the lake was under control. A much relieved collector went to the temple to share the news with the priest and other villagers. Now calmer as the storm had passed, Colonel Place entered the temple and waited for the priest to come out. Alankaram was going on for the deities behind closed doors. Once the doors opened, Colonel Place was shocked to see that the deities being worshipped there were identical to the two young men who were wandering with sticks the previous night along the lake bund. Unable to control his shock, he related the incident of the previous night at the lake. The priest and the villagers were excited on hearing him, as they had no doubts that those two young men were Sri Rama and Sri Lakshmana themselves, who had saved the village from the threatening lake waters. The now chastened collector stood by his commitment and organized for the construction of the Sannidhi for Sita immediately. An inscription is still found in the temple revealing that the Thayar Sannidhi was built by Colonel Lionel Place of East India Company, the then district collector of Chengalpattu. From then onwards, this temple is referred to as Erikatha Ramar or Temple of Rama who protected the lake. The Moola Vigrahas of the deities are considered very beautiful, with Rama standing as if holding Sita's hand. This thala is also significant as the place where Ramanuja, the great Vaishnava Acharya of the 11th century, got his initiation into the Vaishnava faith. Om Namo Narayanaya.